sugar boy. You're getting rough. That poor old tea set is cracked enough. Now, all right. Let's start again. Where was I, boy?
Hello, Internet Dwellers, and welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library. We have returned again, and this time it's a very You're leading already?
I don't know. I think it might be better if I record it over here.
I was just going to say...
Sorry, you're good. It's very special.
It's a very special opening, or it's a very special episode, because TC is actually in the room with me.
Do I sit close?
You sit closer?
Do I sit right...
You can be closer, a little closer.
This doesn't feel like 2,500 miles.
It doesn't, but we can make it be 2,500 miles in our hearts.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, TC. TC's here. We're both in the same room. There's no audio delay, though I contemplated us talking with
If you want me to... if you want me
to go first.
Okay. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am TC, and my lovely co-host Jeff here.
I am quite pretty, and I can turn letters like a boss. Like a Vanna boss.
Vanna boss.
That's the kids.
That's
right?
Did anyone watch Wheel of Fortune?
I don't think anybody watches. I think people play the game on their phones.
in 19... When did this come out?
1963.
We are... what came out?
We are... this movie. This is why we're never going to do another one of these.
If anyone clicked on this, they saw the title of the episode.
That's true.
So they know.
Well, we watched The Sword in the Stone from 1963.
1963. So I'm sure Wheel of the Fortune was surely on in 1963.
Had to be some form of it. I mean, Jeopardy was on in the early 60s.
Jeopardy, the greatest game show of all time.
Yes.
Because there's no way to cheat.
True. You just have to...
You can't even cheat from home. Siri and Alexa cannot answer the questions fast enough.
That's true.
You can't be like... Siri, what's the... Oh, I ran out of time.
I turned and looked for a second to see if my Alexa was going to turn on. She did not.
The only person who can answer the questions fast enough is Alex Trebek, but that's just because the answers
are on the card.
That's right.
That guy's a cheater. I've never liked him.
1963. The Sword and the Stone. This is an odd experience. Now, see, I do another podcast, The Rewatchman. I don't often plug anything that I do on
We did
show.
on the first episode.
We did, yes. And then I told you afterwards, I hadn't thought of plugging anything. But for those of you who might frequent ghosthat.net or have followed us elsewhere, you're aware that I do The Rewatchman. And I've only done 2 episodes mobily in the 100+ that we've done. Everything is always Ben and I across from each other, or if it's here in town, it's Schulze, it's Jessica. I often have guests on back in California. So I'm used to recording across the table from friends for that show. I'm not used to recording across the table from you.
It's so weird, isn't it? Like, for those of you who listen to the AFI podcast of the Top Shelf, I mean, Lindsay and I never did it remotely. We were always this. Yeah. We're one right across from each other, which does lend a different energy to it than when you're just over the internet, just remotely, when I can't see you because I don't have a webcam, so I can't see you talking. So it's just all audio.
I have a natural inclination to let people know I'm listening to them. So when I'm face to face, it's a lot of nodding and but when it's audio, there's a lot, I shouldn't point it out because now people are going to notice that I say, yeah, like 1,000 times.
This is just the acknowledgement that I am paying attention to you.
I don't want you to think we stopped recording.
Yes, we're still going. Except when we forget to hit record.
Oh, God.
Hey, come on.
I see the clock running. But this is great. I'm happy to be in town. I worked on a production this weekend and able to come visit you. This is one of my happy places. Your domicile is a great place.
I'm glad that you think so. It is a great B&B. We have a great rating on Yelp.
No, it's a 5.
It's a 5 out of 12.
Oh, okay.
It's not really that good.
So not only are we getting to record together, but we got to watch the movie together as well.
Which was a lot, which is fun, and at the same time, it was very silent because I'm like, I don't want to talk about it while we're watching the movie together.
It's so difficult because any other occasion, if we weren't going to record about it, I would want to we even kind of made a couple casual remarks into my head. I did. You engaged me in something. You said something, and I just went,
Yep.
Because I didn't want to continue the conversation. I was like, save it for the cast.
Well, and that was the problem with, and for this small little tangent at the beginning, but that was the problem with Franchise Schmanchise, the other podcast that I did that you were on for all the Die Hard movies. But when Schulte and I did the Police Academy films, the first 3 or 4 we watched separately, but then the last 3 or 4 we watched together, and it was so hard to talk about the movie because we were talking about it the entire time.
While it was playing.
And then we got to the recording, and it's just like, I don't have anything left to talk about
Just
now.
repeat everything we said before.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's no fun. But
It's-
this was still a lot of fun to watch it because 18 movies in. It finally it took 18 movies to have a second person on the couch to watch these with. It's usually just myself.
I was even trying to restrain myself from being overly amused by certain things because our conversations, I've affected your opinion.
Yes.
I didn't want our viewing to affect your opinion either.
DC, I went into this movie going, it's the dumbest movie in the world, but because you laughed 4 times, I am now in love with this film.
You have never seen it.
I have never seen this movie.
You only recognized one moment.
It was, and I pointed that out, verbally pointed it out. It was when Merlin turns Arthur into the fish. And the song that he sings when they're first swimming through the moat, I knew the lyrics. Yeah. I'm like, that's this movie. Like the whole moment of him turning him into the fish and like Arthur's like little like animation reaction to doing it. Like I'm like, I know this entire bit.
It probably is from one of those sing-along
It probably
days.
was, and that's the thing. I was like, I tried thinking. I'm like, why do I know it?
Do they make those Disney sing-along videos anymore?
I don't think they do, but I think there occasionally is a bonus feature on some of the DVDs and Blu-rays.
Oh, surely. You can watch Frozen with the sing-along version. You can watch Beauty and the Beast with the sing-along version. It is something they release with the Blu-rays that they have.
So that's like the closest I'm assuming it gets.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just, no, I don't think they actually make like those. I feel like a greatest hits kind of video doesn't exist anymore.
It's, I guess because you have YouTube and you probably could go to the Disney site and watch things.
And watch those clips nowadays.
But yeah, so you recognize that, but you didn't know anything else.
Anything else? I did not know. Like, I know of Madam Mim, but I did not know she was.
Madam Mim.
I didn't know she was from this movie. I didn't know. There was one other thing. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I can't remember.
Perhaps you recognize some of the animation.
I did recognize some of the
There's
animation.
some recycled animation from this. We'll see it in Jungle Book, actually.
There's some recycled animation in the movie.
Right? We see Bambi's mom.
Bambi's mom. Who is it? Kay. His animation. They recycle his eating animation 2 times in that opening sequence. Or not the opening sequence, the second one where they're back at the castle.
Right.
He eats the chicken leg in the first time you see him, and then they reuse him eating and him finishing a second time in that sequence.
We are still in the Xerox era. We're still in the penny pinching era of Disney. We called this the golden age because it kicked off with Cinderella.
Right.
And there are some classics in here like Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland. But you can see the effects of those failures in 101 Dalmatians in now Sword in the Stone here.
Yeah.
Because we still had those very paint outside the lines backgrounds that we saw in 101 Dalmatians, as well as the very solid colors with very little shading on the characters themselves, which comes from Sleeping Beauty, and the angular styles to the trees and whatnot.
Right. Well, there was even some spots where you could still see the pencil lines, not an artistic pencil line, like they didn't completely erase the pencil lines on Merlin in one of those opening sequences. When he's talking, you can see the circular guidelines that they had drawn on his face coming through the paint. And it wasn't all the time. It was just there. And I knew it wasn't an artistic decision. They didn't completely finish it. They left it in. Okay, it happened.
Well, they had to work with what they had.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a charm to that. There's something I genuinely miss in most modern animation is the life that the hand to paper brought to animation of the past. We're still going to get hand-drawn animation for decades with these movies. So we're not going to be for lack of it anytime soon.
Right.
But by comparison, if you want to look at The Simpsons now versus The Simpsons when it was created.
Right.
Granted, The Simpsons has come a long way, but I'd suggest if those listening are interested in seeing the dramatic difference, you know the difference. You've seen The Simpsons change over the years, but really you can find on YouTube, there's a side-by-side comparison of the original opening credits, hand-drawn, versus the opening credits now. And a lot of those real dramatic, cartoonish takes, Marge's hair whipping around,
Right.
is now very computerized and digitalized.
Right.
So the pencil drawings in this animation, which is sloppier than 101 Dalmatians,
Yes.
has a charm to it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy that you can see the animation technique.
It definitely had a charm to it. It definitely gave the characters more life, I would have to say, and more kind of just mobility to them. They weren't very stiff and poised, because they allowed them to have that flowing motion. And Merlin is so
Yes.
just so he's
animated.
Animated. I was like, I can't go in my head. I'm like, Animaniac? That's not it.
He
That's
is
not the word.
he is a maniac.
He is a maniac, but he's so animated. Just every bit and piece of him like moves. There's something constantly moving
Yeah.
on Merlin at every given spot, and you can tell that is coming out of what you said, that hand drawn animation style.
I don't nothing popped out at me. I don't think Merlin had any repeat animation.
No.
I think a lot of the TLC for the characters and this movie itself went into Merlin. I think this is a forerunner to Genie.
Yes.
The what they were able to do to play with Merlin, and what he was allowed to do
Yep.
with his omniscience to centuries of information
Right.
and whatnot.
It is that out of place pop culture
Yeah.
character that's like, why, there's no reason why he would know it. Well, no, because he's a magician. He's a
and-
wizard. That's what he
and
does.
from the lore that this is based upon, because this is based on T.S. White's The Once and Future King series,
Mm-hmm.
the first book in particular, Sword in the Stone, which is a classic piece of literature, but actually a little difficult to get through. I've read just The Sword in the Stone several years ago, and it's good, but it doesn't have the charm of this by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Merlin in the classic lore ages in reverse. He's experiencing time backwards.
Okay.
That affects his memory, and the nod to that is when he wakes up in the tower and he's like, "What, Archimedes, where are we? Oh, don't you even remember the boy?" So this is not a really great translation of T.S. White's Once and Future King, but it actually, if you want to complain about it, it's a very, very great Disney-fied version of that Once and Future King.
Which I feel like is what Disney does well.
Yeah,
They make their Disney version of the films.
But it still has a lot from the book, turning him into he gets turned into a bird, he gets turned into a squirrel, and he gets turned into an ant in the book. If I'm remembering, those are the three animals, not the fish that we see in this.
Though I feel like a fish, by having those three animals, because it's very much so, it's land, sea, and water.
Yes.
It's just the three locations that he goes, and it fits. I guess in my head, it makes more sense that it's a fish instead of
Of
an
course, certainly. You're right.
ant. So it's like one of those few changes Disney makes that's like, oh no, that actually makes a lot more sense that they made him a fish instead.
They simplified the story. Robin Hood is in Once and Future King.
Oh, really?
The T.S. White book has Robin Hood in it.
Interesting.
Yes. And they simplified the story. They simplified the animation. Something that was missing in this, that was quite noticeable, is in all the movies we've seen so far, is no ensemble, no crowds.
Yeah.
There's some
There's a little
crowd
bit.
matte paintings and whatnot.
Right.
But even the tournament. Oh, someone's pulled the sword from the stone. It's a sword in the stone. You saw like 6 guys.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was all that there was for people.
And it was certainly a method of pinching pennies for that, for the film.
Because even the wide establishing shots of London was a very plain, kind of just low-key, drawn version of the city.
Right,
It wasn't a big...
no people.
Yeah, no big, vast landscapes, like detailed landscapes of,
Mm-hmm.
what, 1200s London or whatever this
Yeah.
is, whatever this is supposed to take place in. But it was just kind of generic buildings and like solid colors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
That's the penny pinching in effect. However, I don't feel it hurt the movie.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah,
It felt right at home with what we had already seen of the characters, or just the type of world that we're in, and
Yeah.
kind of this off-kiltered, kind of goofy world.
Mm-hmm.
Not goofy. Though that would just immediately have made the movie better.
Plenty of opportunities for the Goofy yell in this movie.
Oh, I know.
And it never happened.
I'm surprised that when he was falling, or when Arthur was falling as a squirrel from the tree, that there wasn't the goofy yell in
Or
there.
the wolf.
Or the wolf.
I mean, Wolfie Coyote. Or Wily Wolf.
I'm actually a little sad the wolf did not come back for a third time. This is another one of those moments, much like the bird from
the Acuna bird.
the Acuna bird from Three Caballeros. I'm very sad that there wasn't a third third return of the wolf. I felt like they were going somewhere with him, and then he just floated off down the river in a log. It's so sad.
This movie follows vignette after vignette in a well constructed plot, right? And it follows the classic's hero's journey, the monomyth, but from the perspective of the mentor.
True.
It's Merlin's POV. Arthur is your protagonist. He's the one going on the journey, but it's Merlin's POV that you experience the story through.
And that threw me for a little bit of a loop because, again, from what I knew of the movie and what I just know from a lot of movies, I went into this going, okay, so yeah, it's going to be the fairy godmother from Cinderella. It's going to be that type of situation with Merlin. That he'll be in it, but he won't be the main character. It'll be the genie from Aladdin. It's that type of story. You know. But yeah, when I'm like, oh no, they just keep focusing on Merlin for most of this.
Merlin's the main character. Arthur's the protagonist.
It's so weird.
It's a rarity. Often, the protagonist is the main character. That's just standard storytelling. Luke Skywalker is the protagonist and the main character. But if you look at something like Fury Road, Furiosa is the protagonist.
True.
Even Nicholas Holt's character, he's got the biggest arc in the whole movie. Max is the main character, but he's not the one on the journey. He's not the protagonist.
He's just kind of the tag along that the audience is here with, and we see this other main story kind of through his eyes instead.
So following up 101 Dalmatians, which was a non-standard structured story, it didn't particularly follow a very tropey beginning, middle, and end. I feel Sword and Stone did something similar, that whoever was responsible for script creation, I know Bill Peet was the animator who wrote the script for, he was the story guy behind 101 Dalmatians. I didn't catch the writer on this one.
I think Bill Peet's in there. Yeah, Bill Peet wrote the story.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
So there you go. That's it's something to think about there. That Bill Peet crafted these two stories. Bill Peet was the first biography I ever read in elementary school, probably about fourth grade. And he was this young animator who dreamed of working for Walt Disney Studios. And he made it by drawing Donald Duck over and over and over again. He was in the assembly line.
Okay.
He wanted to be one of the creators, but he was just one of the monkeys just drawing a freaking duck over and over and over again. And his first big step forward is he got to animate an entire sequence in Pinocchio that got cut. No one told him. He took his wife to the premiere, and his scene never came.
Oh, man. That would just... I would be so disappointed. I'd just be like, but
where's my movie part?
I swear I did it. Honey, I could describe you the entire film.
But he went on to obviously continue work there, working on Sword and Stone, and 101 Dalmatians before that. But
well, that's sad. This is the last one he worked on.
Yeah, he left under bad circumstances. He was sick and tired of the Walt Disney process because, as we've discussed before, Disney would create competitions. He would pit his animators against each other. He was a wild man in his vision, much like I think we compared him to Steve Jobs. That oftentimes you hear these horror stories about Disney and Steve Jobs. They were monsters, but you cannot deny that they were important to culture, and
they knew how to bring the right people together to make the best possible product.
Even if they were buttheads.
The entire time.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the end of not just the golden era, but the golden era ends with Disney dying, passing away.
Right.
And we're getting close there. Winnie the Pooh and Jungle Book will be the last two films that he was involved with.
And then there's got to be there must be, and again, we're in that era of the films that I'm not very familiar with whatsoever. Yeah. So I'm predicting that there will be a slow taper off of the quality of the films, because obviously there's stuff that's in production before he dies.
What did he still have his approval on?
Right. So, but then once we hit that, well, it's like, oh, then we're going to see this change. And
TBD.
This is going to be interesting. Very interesting. So you were talking about the story and kind of like the tone of this film. And I do want to bring up one thing that I like, that there's very much so lessons that Merlin is trying, like life lessons that Merlin is trying to teach Arthur.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the same vein, trying to teach the kids that are watching this film.
Right.
Because there's definitely a high emphasis on, magic cannot solve your life. Magic will not come along and be the cure to your life or save your life.
Get yourself out of it.
Yep. You have to get yourself out of it, go to school, read books, have an education, and then figure out what you want to do after that. And then use your head. Don't, you can't wait for somebody else to tell you what to do, which I feel like is really what those three situations that Merlin puts Arthur into by putting him in, making him a fish. And he teaches him a little bit to get him going, but then just take care of yourself. Figure out how to get out of
learn
this.
how to crawl before you can walk.
Right.
His lessons of love.
Yes.
Which, let's go back to the squirrel part later.
Oh my God, the squirrel part.
We're kind of jumping all over in terms of our structure of these shows.
Yeah.
But the lessons learned in this are, I noticed them more now than I ever did when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie I've seen so many times. And as a kid, I loved the fact that he was a fish escaping that big fish, and that he was a bird, and that the squirrels are funny. But when you listen to the lyrics of the songs and what Merlin's actually saying, you're right. There are genuine lessons there.
Yeah.
Even at the simplest of form, what goes up must come down. For every two, there's a fro. For every left, there's a right. So
Right.
All those very simple yet poignant ideas being instructed upon this young legend in the making.
Right. And it's well done. Like, I mean, as an adult watching it, you can, like, I picked up quickly, like, okay, I see what they're trying to do with this one. They're trying to make it more educational. They're almost trying to take what earlier Disney films have kind of crafted in the sense of, if magic will come along and will help your life. They've taken that, and while there is still magic in it, and obviously Merlin does use a little bit of his power.
He says
on
he'd
it.
cheat.
Yep.
He said he would. He's going to be a legend. Well, how's that going to happen? I'll cheat.
Yeah, like it's, even though that there is some of that, he is still dedicating it to. There's lessons you have to learn here. You have to live you are in control of your life. Don't let you're not gonna let somebody else come along and do it. And but it's still done in a well crafted way that it's not beating you over the head. I feel
right. It's
with that
it's
approach.
Sweet and it's clever in its lessons that I didn't even think of them when I was a little kid. But the ideas of this movie stuck with me. This was a movie I went back to a lot, and the idea of King Arthur always enthralled me. The once and future king, the hero king. All my Legos were the Robin Hood Legos and the Knight Legos, because I just wanted to be those two characters. Before Superman and Batman, I wanted to be Arthur or Robin Hood.
See, and I had a Chewbacca doll.
Let's
is
be
all
fair.
fitting. Come on.
I can truly remember watching Star Wars when I was 5 years old on my TV in my living room before we moved to the house I grew up in, just as a little 4 or 5 year old, and for the first time processing that his aunt and uncle had been burned alive. I can clearly remember. That's a formidable moment because it is locked into my memory.
Because, like, your family just got killed. Your only surviving family that you know of just got brutally murdered.
So, I also want to be Luke Skywalker.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, let's back up to even just the beginning of this film. This film falls back onto, it opens with a book.
Yep.
The physical book opening up.
Because we're back to kind of that. It's that traditional fairy tale-esque story, even though it's not a princess this time. It's a future king.
Yeah, but it's a legend.
But it's a legend.
World-renowned, world-known
Yep.
story. And so they return to the book opening up, the narration.
And that opening song was intense. Like, it got really dramatic very quickly. And I dug it. I really liked that opening song, actually.
It was just short enough that it got in and out, right? It would have been boring if it kept going. That would have as any longer, and it would be worth fast forwarding as a little kid.
Okay, fine, skip.
But it gets all the exposition out of the way.
Yes, and it puts you right in the world that you need to be in, and then boom, you're into meeting Merlin, who just you comparing him to like the genie and stuff like that. It's so interesting. It's so fascinating that even when this movie came out. So at this point, Disney has been around making movies for only 24 years. Like
Amazing.
it's
20. Think about that, folks. So it's Disney is what it is now.
Yep.
But we're still in an era where they hadn't yet become that.
Yeah. We're still in that area where they've had hits. They've popped. They have a theme
Their live
park.
action movies are doing great.
Yep.
Their TV, The Wonderful World of Disney on TV, the theme park has been built. Like they're still at this point in Disney history, he's Tyler Perry, right?
Only with a little less female clothing.
Why isn't there a Tyler Perry land? That's what I wanted. But what I'm saying is,
Medea's big theme park. That's what it would. Medea. Sorry.
Walt is a household name at this point,
Right.
But not in the fashion that we perceive Walt Disney Studios now.
Right. Like it's still a brand. It's still 24 years is still a young company. I
Right.
mean, when you look at other studios in Hollywood at this point that have been around for 60, 70 years almost, and not 70 years, but like 60, 65.
Yeah, Paramount just a few years ago got their 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
So we're the studio era exists. They were I don't know if fledgling is the right word, but they were trying to be a competitor,
Right.
And here they are failing with their animated adventures that they're trying to the pursuits that Walt has been having.
Right.
So only 24 years of
Only 24 years
feature length animation.
Yeah, which is really crazy, especially when you think that there's only been 24 years. We've watched 18.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I just did that math in my head, and I'm like, wow, so almost one a year for a while, like
Right?
almost one a year. That's crazy. Now when it's like every 5 years another one comes out. But anyways, the point I was making was like I loved Merlin's character because he is so. We've had comedic characters in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We've had lighthearted ones. We've had ones that have kind of like come close to breaking the fourth wall. But Merlin is the first one that really just full blown is almost aware he's in a movie.
Right.
Like basically he is one step away from just turning to the audience and becoming Deadpool and just acknowledging the audience is out there.
There's the one dig at the end where it's like movies. It's like television but without commercials.
Yeah. And you sit there going like, oh, that's totally, you know that as a dig that because this was still the era where TV was now more popular than movies. And
It was the fear that movies are ending.
Yeah.
Because TVs are in every household now. It's
why do
what
people
has
need to leave
happened?
the house?
Oh my gosh, movies are dead.
Yeah, and you can tell that it's like it was a filmmaker, whether it was Disney, Walt, or whether it was Bill Pete or whoever, but you could tell that was somebody in the business going,
I was winking in that.
we're acknowledging that this is a thing. But yeah, like it's so weird to see a character like Merlin be put in a movie like this, for them to acknowledge that this character is well aware of future and has no we're breaking this quote unquote realistic tone by having a movie take place in the medieval age, by having a character acknowledge airplanes and helicopters and
Bermuda.
television and Bermuda, and
This Merlin is one of the most fully realized characters we've seen in these 18 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Donald has an edge because Donald had existed for a couple decades before he ever was put on the big screen in Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos.
Right.
But he's just a one note. Merlin is a deeper and fuller character than a lot of the characters we've seen over the course of these 18 films so far. 18, right? That's
18.
17?
Yep.
18.
Nope. This was number 18.
That's right. Yes, that's 18. I love Merlin as a character.
He's a lot of fun to watch, and even when he gets angry and frustrated, he's still entertaining to watch. I still could not believe when he blasts off and as a rocket earlier in the film
Me to Bermuda.
and I'm like, what? he's gone. Like, and I was like waiting for him to come back and it'd be just a gag.
Nope.
I'm like, oh no, he got ticked off and
left.
flew to Bermuda. Like,
Good
okay.
structure in the story there because he the first time he disappears, he says, "When I'm gone, you don't know I'm really gone." Right, when he disappears to Sir Hector.
Right.
And then when he disappears the second time, when get out of here, poof, when the woman tells him to leave, he comes back later. When after the kitchen sequence, when he messed up the kitchen and got Arthur in trouble.
Right. So then when he actually leaves, there's a moment where I'm like, oh, he's not actually gone.
He'll come back.
He's still here. This was just him, blowing off steam. and then he's actually gone.
It's a great script structure because if you think of it from mentor to mentee, the first time he left, he didn't leave. He was there to be there for Arthur. The second time he left so Arthur could face the consequences of something, but then came back to apologize. And the third time he left Arthur alone.
Yep.
Use what you have learned to this point, and Arthur got himself made king.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
he
Arthur did
came
pretty
back.
well for himself,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and it's nice because that's another nice little life lesson. The whole idea that there are people that are in our lives. This is getting super deep.
No.
Wow, this is crazy. This is what happens when we're in the same room, TC. We get deep. But like there are people in our lives, and those people will not always be in our lives. Doesn't matter how much they can teach you, you have to or prepare you for it. One day they will be gone, and you have to learn to
Sink or
deal- to-
swim,
yep.
fly.
deal with yourself, you know, deal with life and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a nice little subtle life reference that this movie's a lot deeper than it needed to be. Quick, let's talk about a funny line.
Archimedes.
Archimedes is a fantastic
Merlin and
character.
Archimedes are a fantastic married couple. Those two grumpy old men together are just the best. They're dynamic.
It's so crazy because it's like they obviously are like, well, Merlin I think gets a kick out of Archimedes
Yeah.
being so just
Being a
tipped
grump.
up. But it's like Archimedes at any time could just leave.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
What? Who? What?
I'm not coming out.
No.
Yet he sticks around because
They are
it's the R2D2 C3PO
yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Where they obviously are frustrated with each other, but at the end of the day, they would never leave each other because it's like, no, you're my friend. We're you know, you go, I go type thing. This is not a
loyal to the living end.
yes, which according to Merlin probably won't be for another like 10,000 years at the rate that he's going. He doesn't seem to age. I do want to point out one quick. My favorite line in this entire movie was near the beginning because I wrote it down. It's a slight tangent, but it made me laugh so much. And it was by Merlin, and it was when the dude with the mustache showed up to talk about the whole tournament that's going to be in January. But it's Merlin going like what was it? It's no sense waiting for the London Times. The first edition won't be out for another 1,200 years.
He looks at his watch.
Yeah, I love time-based humor. I also love gags like that. I love the fact that he pulled out his watch to figure out how many years it was gonna be.
It didn't strike me till just this moment, but something that I have done, I can remember doing it in high school, I've done it for years, is whenever someone asks me what the date is, I look at my watch. And someone asked me just this past weekend, when do you think when was the last time someone was somewhere and I did the watch gag? And
Yep.
I wonder if I subconsciously retained it from Merlin. Oh, the New York Times won't be out until 1,200 years from now.
It's such a great little visual gag and visual humor. That's the other thing with this movie. This movie does really well those tiny little bits.
Yeah.
And just again, it goes back to the way that they're animated, the way things are moving, the way things are just
Yeah, the sugar menu.
oh
the
yes.
Sugar Bowl.
Oh man, it just keeps going and go when.
No, listen here, Sugar Bowl. You stop picking on that teapot. It's been cracked enough.
It's just its wordplay is really well done. Just the dialogue is so well done. The animation is so well done, and it's such a great little film.
You had mentioned the depth of field and the
yes.
multi-pan animation that Disney created essentially.
I love that stuff so much.
To great foregrounds out of focus.
Yep.
You comment. That was the comment I ignored you on. Where I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I was like, because I figured you'd talk about it now.
Yes, because and that was during that whole sequence where it was also they were walking along the riverfront or the moat, I guess, at the edge of the moat, and I made a note. I'm like,
Who puts a fish that big in a moat? Honestly.
but I love it because I wrote it down. I'm like, yep, there's Disney doing their water again, like their surface water amazingly, and the reflections of Merlin and Arthur in the water, and actually for one of the two shots, it's just focused on the reflection. It's not even on them above ground. And I'm like, and just those foreground elements.
Foreground elephants.
Boy, whew, all those pink
Jeff
elephants.
was drinking while we were watching.
Guys, I've been drunk for 22 years. Big surprise, I know, right? No, but like just those foreground damn it,
You did it again?
I'm not gonna be able to not say it.
So great. In the water, the depth of field that
It's so
they're
great.
creating their animation is it's it's interesting because they created it in panes of glass. Like their pane animation system was created in such that they could pull focus from one location to another.
Which is such a genius idea, and I guess growing up, I never realized that that's how they did it. That was how they got that out of focus stuff. Because in my head, like I knew it was drawn, but I honestly thought the animators knew how to draw stuff out of focus. And I'm like, that's insane, especially because they do rack focus on some of those things. And I'm like, I don't understand how they do that. They are brilliant geniuses. And then I see the device, and I realize it's just like a 15-foot tall racks of glass that are separated in a way that they can rack focus.
I could be
so brilliant.
I could be wrong, and we'll have to look when we get there. But I believe they reused that pane system for the Princess and the Frog when we get there.
Ooh, that'd be so good to see.
I
noticed the frog in this movie looked a lot like the frog from the Princess and the Frog.
He did, yeah.
Yep.
And that probably was. I didn't even think of it until you just mentioned it. There's a very good chance that's the way, because Madman Mim, when she pulls her hair and says "boo" as the pig, Louis the alligator does the exact same thing in Princess and the Frog.
Now I'm really looking forward to those later movies, because now that we're watching all these, I can't wait till we get to those, and then I'll go, oh, they're referencing this one. That's from Sword of the Stone. That's from Robin Hood. That's obviously a Jungle Book reference. Like it's night, because I feel like when they did, and we're jumping ahead to the Princess and the Frog, but I feel like that when they did that, they made a comment. They were acknowledging their animation past with a lot of these characters.
Dr. Facilier was Captain Hook was their reference for that his design to create that gangly movement that Dr. Facilier has. So we've talked about the fish. Let's talk about the squirrel.
Oh, that squirrel scene.
So first off, I would say Candace and I quote the squirrel moment all the time, and it's the madam. when
he's
like the dumpy ooh.
Female squirrel's going after Merlin.
Like, I am not a man. I'm a squirrel. I mean, I am not a squirrel. I'm a boy. I'm a man. And then when he does, you happy now? See, I'm an ugly, cranky, mean old man. Ruff, 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 ruff. And she just goes, ooh.
I feel really bad, and that's a scene. That whole scene, especially with the one that was going after Arthur, I feel so bad for it, because it's like there's no resolve for it.
It's so sweet that she loses him.
She loses him, and she just goes up on top of the tree and just watches him go away
and cries.
And there's nothing. They never come back to it. Yeah. It's never like Merlin turns her into a girl squirrel. I mean, I know that would push it.
Turns her from squirrel to a woman.
Yep, I know that would push the storyline in a completely different direction, because
but you want it though.
I want that. Yeah. Like when that ended, I'm like, no, like I know this character, this female squirrel character that has no actual lines, but only has like 10 minutes of screen time. Oh man, when she grabs his hands and puts them back on her nose.
How sweet is that?
I'm like, what is this?
And
I realize I have no love in my life.
Oh no,
it made me so sad.
It's an oddly touching, sweet, sad moments that this lesson of love to Arthur, that he doesn't fully comprehend it. He says, I wish I could just explain it to her. I wish she understood. And she can't understand, and he can't make her understand. Intentional or not, is such a beautiful lesson about love.
About love. And
Merlin even says it. They're walking away. It's a force. Even stronger than gravity. Some say it might be the strongest force of all. Like, that is so good.
It's so well done.
It makes my eyes water.
TC, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. If your ears start watering, you're leaking.
Way to undercut the moment, TC.
But no, I agree. That whole sequence was just like the whole ability that, you may not get the person that you want, in love, and sometimes you just have to move on and find somebody else. And I'm sure that female squirrel found.
She found someone.
I'm sure found a very attractive squirrel.
Yeah.
And
she deserved
or a chipmunk.
It. She deserved it.
Maybe
Chip,
two of them.
Chip
or Dale,
right?
And
she
they
had her pick of the litter. Do squirrels have litters? I don't know.
That's a question. If you know the answer to that question, please put it in the comment section below to this week's episode.
Or you can tweet at Random Bell.
Yes.
I don't want to know.
Great. I'm going to get a bunch of weird tweets now. Thanks, TC. So let's quickly talk about Madam Mim.
Madam Mim.
she threw me for a little bit of a loop because first off, so we spent a good chunk of time with the fish. And the lessons being learned there. And then we went to the squirrel. We spent a good chunk of time with the squirrel. And then he turns him into a bird. And I'm like, okay, so it's going to be another one like that. And then we're immediately giving Madam Mim.
Yeah, his lesson as the bird, kind of derivative of the running away from the marlin in the moat, right? The hawk comes. He then crash lands in Mim's. And just she's this disruptive force, so she literally disrupts the story by suddenly appearing
and taking over for the story for the next 10 minutes, and then turning it into a wizard's duel. Like I'm watching it, and it was very entertaining. Like don't misunderstand me, but it was just like, wow, we're doing this now. This is where we're at in the film. Okay, I mean, I'm still entertained, but this is just. I wasn't expecting her because she had not been established prior to it. There was no even mention of a character like that.
She potentially could be... No, you know what? I'm not going to say, but she's not the beginning of this. But we've had this before where a character out of the blue appears and is gone and only has their one scene. The fairy godmother. Yep. She's in and out. That's it. And we will have characters like that in the future if you want to look to Pixar's Brave. The Witch in the Forest.
Oh, yeah.
She's there and gone, never to be mentioned again. So there is a precedent and a history of these forces of nature characters. Moana recently, there's the crab that Jermaine Clement voices.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right? In and out.
It's just in that one scene, no prior mentioning of him, nothing, nothing. Well, I mean, I guess there was a minuscule reference to him, but that's why they went there in the first place.
Mim coming in as this force of nature, if you want to keep pulling on the strings of lessons learned, and there are people who are going to be like like that in your life,
which is going to come out of nowhere and disrupt your entire life. And
she immediately has some history in how Archimedes reacts to her. Where he's like, Mim, and he goes to get Merlin right away. I love when Merlin shows up and he's like facing the wrong direction, his hat's down. Mim. Oh, hello, Merlin.
It's such a great, and then that whole scene is so great, and I love it because we get a nice little recap of a ton of different animals that have previously kind of appear. Like we get an alligator like type character. Obviously, a pink elephant shows up, which I kind of like.
The dragon that is Maleficent, except now purple with Mim's hair.
Yep. It was a great sequence, and I did notice that Mim tended to pick the more violent. Larger characters or animals to turn into predators, while Merlin was almost always
defensive,
just like this like little mouse, was a little caterpillar, the crab was the closest he came.
Great gag. Scissor, horn.
And then the closest he came was the goat, and I got a little excited because I'm like, oh, Mim got pushed into a tree and then fell to her death, and then it was like a 5-foot drop into the lake, and then she turned into the dragon. I'm like, okay, well, took that trope off my list because I'm like, well, there's not, and then that's another thing. There's not a real major villain in this film.
No, she's the only antagonist,
right?
And this film does feel very episodic. There's a lot of fade outs, which is a more classic style of storytelling in film.
For like time has passed.
Yeah, when I see fade outs now in movies, they throw me for a loop. Unless they are dramatically the end of a first act, end of the second act. That when you have a 3-act structure, a perfect example of that is the fade out in between Neo leaving the Matrix and entering the real world for the first time, and Morpheus says, "Welcome to the real world." Fade to black. That is like the most on the nose end of the first act ever. Right. And this movie fades out a lot over the course of the story. It's chapters.
The closest you come, I guess, to like there being an overall villain would be Arthur's stepdad and
Sir Hector and
Kay, right? Like those are the closest I feel like, but they're not even bad. They're just they're doing their thing. They're living.
Men.
Yeah. But I mean, then when Merlin shows up and convinces the dad that Sir Hector, that's like when I go like the whole when I disappear, I may not actually be gone thing. He seems to be like terrified at that point, and his personality kind of shifts a little bit.
Right. He's just, careful, Kay.
Yeah.
He could curse the castle.
So it was so interesting to not have a villain because even again, we'll just go at 101 Dalmatians. You had Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil was the villain, not a traditional villain from what we
no doubt about it.
And she was a force through the entire film. This movie, it feels more like life and the outside world in general could potentially be the villain, because
Right.
in each of those cases where he had where Merlin was teaching Arthur something, there was other animals out there that were coming after him. There was
Right,
other
there's-
people out there
There's
coming
all
after
these
him.
individual antagonists.
Right.
You got the wolf, you got the hawk, you got Mim, you got Hector and Kay. Kay at the beginning bullying him.
Right.
I'm gonna knock your block off there. What?
By the way, Kay had some very fascinating facial animations in that opening
Yeah,
sequence.
his lips like
Just
very weird.
always making good, like squinty eyes, big bugged eyes, and like turning his head, and his mouth would kind of like delay a little bit when he was turning. Like, it's just so fascinating of the animation style in that opening.
But very, very well done characters. They had both of them had a great final moment. And it's Hector kneels before Arthur and he says, "Forgive me, my boy."
Mm-hmm.
He genuinely is asking this child he raised to, as if to say, "I'm sorry I was so rough on you.
Right.
I should, please forgive me."
He's very redeemed,
Yeah,
a redeeming character.
And okay, bow to your king. And Kay bows, and he kind of lowers his head and looks up at Arthur. And I interpret that look on his face of wow, Wart is king, and
Right.
not mad, not jealous, not Gaston in the least.
Right. But just
Kay-
a little like kind of like, oh wow, like taken back. Like
Right.
that I wasn't expecting that to be
Right.
what the outcome was gonna be.
I don't
but
think Kay had the capacity to even think of what it meant that he might be king. He's like, "Sure, I'll be king." Right?
God. That's the last type of king that they would need for that country.
Big dope.
So was there anything I do want to point out? I had to look it up. I got a little excited. I'm kind of nearing the end of my notes here for this episode. We've been doing pretty well so far for conversation.
Right.
I do want to point out I got kind of excited because Blackbeard. So one of the guys at the very end, one of the people in the crowds.
Let the boy try.
I'm like, that voice is very familiar.
Okay.
Why do I know that voice? It's Thurl Ravenscroft. So it's the guy who does the singing voice
for the
from
Grinch.
From the Grinch.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're a mean one.
Yep.
Mystic.
Because I'm
What?
sitting there listening to it, I'm like, oh, there's that deep bassy baritone-esque voice. I'm like, that's in this era. It's the '60s. I'm like, that's gotta be him.
That's
And-
that's so cool.
That's him. And obviously, also one of the singing busts from the Haunted Mansion ride. But yeah, I had to look it up. I'm like, no, that's got to be him.
And
it was him. I got
that's
very
great.
excited about that.
I have a question. Where the hell did all those dishes come from?
How much either they never wash their dishes and that's like a month's worth of or 2 months worth of food and dirty dishes, or those two guys eat so much food.
I think honestly, it's because they couldn't have a full cast.
Yeah.
Because they do mention the other squire. You're not the squire anymore. I can't remember what the
Oh, the one that got like sick
Hobbs,
or something like that.
Hobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hobbs is the squire. Hobbs has the mumps. Yeah, we never saw Hobbs.
I never saw him.
So I guess we can assume that there are a few more people living there.
And it's not just them. It's just like, well, this is the only time we ever see them.
Right.
Is yeah.
Yeah. So, I got a couple of little notes here. So, the setup of the sword at the beginning and the return to the sword was well done. I feel like when we finally do get to the sword, it feels appropriate. It doesn't feel out of the blue.
Right.
It's not forgotten. It's all about getting to the sword, and another tip of my hat to the script that's getting back to that sword.
That it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like what, did we miss something? Like why are we, or like it wasn't necessary for them to keep returning to the sword throughout the entire
We're gonna
film.
get here. We're gonna get
It's
here.
like, don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yep.
We're
They
well aware this movie's called The Sword and the Stone, and you haven't seen the sword and or the stone in the last 45 minutes. Don't worry, we were coming back to it.
This was longer.
This was
you,
longer.
You had mentioned it as this.
Yep.
We're entering this era of actual feature-length films.
Yep. It's so weird, and this is what I said when we finished watching the movie. I'm like, it's so weird after all those package films where it was 45 minutes, 40 minutes, and we were done.
An hour,
maybe, and those were like the long ones. That like now that we're getting back into these hour 20, and they're gonna keep getting longer. That it feels weird that it's such a long movie again.
Right.
Granted, we did. I think Cinderella was longer, or one of those one of the more recent ones.
This
were a
isn't the
little longer.
first feature length,
Right.
but
It's just more common now that they're getting longer and longer.
Did you feel the length? Did this feel almost an hour and a half too?
It did not.
It didn't lull for
No.
Okay.
No, it there was a little bit when they finally were coming back to London, or they were coming back to the castle for okay, it's winter now, we're actually gonna go and we're gonna do it.
Right.
There was a moment coming back from that where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot the sword. Okay, yes, this whole competition, the whole
let's wrap
reason
this
for
up.
this. Yeah, like okay, let's go. Like there was a moment there, but after that moment, and once they went to London, the last like 10 minutes just flies by.
It wraps up real quick too.
Yeah.
We're back to that again.
Yep.
The abrupt ending.
Where it's like, oh yep, Sword and Stone, he's the king. Forgive me. Credits?
Have we watched have any of these movies had I think 101 Dalmatian had a pretty non-abrupt ending, right? But if you think some of the previous ones we've watched, they just end.
Right.
Oh wow, that was sudden.
I would say probably 101 Dalmatians and maybe Lady and the Tramp are
Lady
the
and the
two
Tramp.
that don't really have a fully abrupt.
Yeah.
Because even Cinderella would be one that was like, oh, she fits the glass slipper. Oh, they're married and they're gone and done. Like, oh, that was like a 2-minute wrap up for that entire storyline. And yeah, but I feel like Lady and the Tramp might be one of the other ones that doesn't have that as abrupt ending. But yeah, Cinderella does. Sleeping Beauty does.
they just end.
They're just like, well, happy ending. Bye. Bye.
Which is fine. It said what it needed to say. However, I will say, despite the majority, we'll say 98% of all the Disney movies ever created, don't need a sequel. Stop making sequels.
Yes, we
You're
do not
strict-
need more sequels, please.
I have wished since I was quite young that there was a sequel to Sword in the Stone. I wish this was a trilogy. The Once and Future King, then give me King Arthur, and the Knights of the Round Table, and just give me three. I would love to see Merlin 3 times. I would love to see Arthur, the young boy, the young man, and the king.
This would have been a great film if to go that route and to do do that as a trilogy, to do one every decade.
Yes. Oh, certainly.
You know, like okay, like don't do them right away.
No.
Don't do today's method of where if it's popular,
Milk it.
bust out a sequel right now. It's like no, you do one now, or you do so they did one in '63. It'd have been cool if they would have done King Arthur in the mid '70s.
Yes.
Where now,
Oh, and then in the 90s.
Yep.
Like skip the 8 and like in the during the Renaissance.
yep,
Have a third Sword in the
have
Stone.
a third Sword in the Stone
I
film.
would have loved that.
Like it would have, because I feel like then you get that whole you get what Star Wars is doing now, where you get the generations of people
yes.
who are now like when Star Wars originally came out in the late '70s, early '80s. Well, when the prequels came out 20 years later, those people who saw the originals were bringing their kids. Now that the new trilogy is coming out, almost 15 years later, now you potentially have those kids growing up. They're now adults, and some could be bringing their children to see the next generation. Like it's a generational film.
Yeah.
Sword in the Stone could have become a generational film.
I wish. I don't know if
In that
now-
alternate dimension, TC,
Yeah.
where there are where you are always out here, and this is the one episode that we're not recording together.
Yes.
There
In
is
some
a
alternate dimension. I'm anticipating King Arthur or just Arthur.
Arthur.
Right. The Holy Grail. I don't know if they could do it though, because having the 12-year-old Arthur, it's accessible to kids. It
Right.
To Disney-fy the Knights of the Round Table, the Holy Grail like that. I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be done, because how could you Disney-fy it? Right? That's some of the complaints of Hercules and Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like why did you make Disney versions of these?
Right.
Says some people.
Says some people. Will not be us people
No.
when we get to those.
When we get there.
So, is there any other thoughts you had regarding the film?
No, no, I don't. So we can move on. I think we've said yes that this is.
Yeah. Did you like this movie?
Yes, I really do like this movie. It's very a formidable film for me, as I mentioned earlier. It's stuck with me to this day. I still quote it. It's tough to separate nostalgia, I know, but this trying to be critical of it hits a lot of wonderful things that it fits into Disney's mold of one for the girls, one for the boys, I guess.
Yep.
Because 101 Dalmatians isn't specifically for girls, is not what I'm saying, but this is definitely a little boy's a film for a little boy to like and love and fantasize about being a wizard or a young knight.
Right. Because he even has a little boy that pushes himself away from girls. So
Yeah.
it's very much so that
I wish
young
you could
age,
understand me.
young age, and just wanting to be a king or not, wanting to be in charge, be a kid, being a knight, fight. It's so cool. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it as well, and I feel like it's. And I'm going to wrap my answer of whether I liked it into my answer for my next question real quick, which was, would you show this to kids?
I would.
And
yes.
I'm like,
Certainly.
it's definitely, there's not a thing in this movie that is
I am
inappropriate.
sad that you didn't see it as a kid.
I kind of wish I had. I don't know why. Again, this is that era of movies that we just never had access to.
Yeah.
I don't know if these were like part of that era that just weren't always released
On video.
because that's how I watched most of my Disney movies, except for the ones that I hold dear to my heart, which is Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
Because those are the ones I did see in theaters. And
My grandfather taped this on VHS off the Disney Channel, I think. And whenever we went over there and he was in charge of us, he just said, "Hey, we're watching Sword in the Stone."
I do feel like this is a great film for kids, and it's a good film for both boys and girls. I don't see it, like while you said this is more a film for boys, girls can still learn something from it because of all those life lessons we discussed that Merlin's trying to teach. There still is a general life lesson to be taught and to be learned from this film. It's definitely not scary. There's absolutely nothing about this film that's inappropriate for children. No. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot more fun than I expected it to be.
Yay, I'm glad you liked it. But the question is, how much did you like it in all the movies we've watched in this
man.
round of films? Where do you rank The Sword in the Stone?
So this was a tough one. This was a very tough one. Now, I ranked it before we started recording.
Oh, okay.
I have not changed it,
Okay.
despite everything that we talked about. It's I did, however, I forgot to update the list on the Facebook page. Sorry, guys. It's updated now. It was tough, but Sword in the Stone is my number 3.
Okay, so you put it above 101 Dalmatians,
Yes.
below Lady and the Tramp.
Below Lady and the Tramp, because I'm a sucker for a love story. I really am. And the Lady and the Tramp still was just so beautifully animated, just across the board. I loved that movie so much. Never thought I would love a movie like that.
You once again, the cultural impact of Lady and the Tramp's spaghetti scene.
Yep.
But you're leaving Cinderella number 1.
I'm leaving
With your
Cinderella at
classic
number
inside
1,
it.
which it's tough because I could argue like Lady and the Tramp and Cinderella are tied for
yeah,
first,
yeah.
more or less. Like they could be interchangeable. But I'm still leaving Cinderella at number 1, and I'm gonna say number 3 for this film, just because. It was well done. It was well entertaining. I liked the message it was trying to teach. It was definitely different from what we've seen previously. Again, going back to Merlin's type of character, how he addressed just his humor, what he did, why he did it. The fact that there was a non-traditional story was kind of a fun change too.
Yeah.
And it all was in a 80-minute film.
So you made it number 3?
Made it number 3.
Okay. So re-listening to our episode from last week, our 101 Dalmatian episode, I started to question my ranking of 101 Dalmatians. I made it my number 3.
Yes.
And listening to our praise of it and continue to think about it, I started to question if I should have put it higher.
Do you want to change it?
No, I don't want to change it because after thinking that and then thinking further on it, I realized my reasoning for leaving Lady the Tramp number 1 and leaving Cinderella number 2 is appropriate. There's still the cultural significance of those movies, the animation, the voice acting of Lady and the Tramp keeps it in the number 1 slot for me, and Cinderella being the epitome of Disney princesses is going to keep it number 2. So Sword in the Stone, even if it's just nostalgia bumping into it, is also my number 3.
We will never break
We'll
separately.
never break it. We'll never break it. I really do like this movie.
It was really good.
For as much as I praised 101 Dalmatians last week, it's in watching it and being charmed by it and then walking away from it and not forgetting it per se, but just, okay, that was fun and being engrossed in it here and now, and then I forget about it.
Right.
Sword in the Stone obviously is an important film to me, as I've stated more than once in this recording. So I'm putting it number 3, but I'm not going to let nostalgia put it at number 1.
You're not going to pull a Three Caballeros.
Yes, as you did in the first volume.
Oh,
of
silly
films.
me. Letting nostalgia get the best of me.
So I'm-
Though that's going to be damn hard when we hit Beauty and the Beast. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, so there you go. That's our
Awesome.
ranking once again. We still have the exact same list except for our 1
Except
and 2.
for our 1 and 2, which is...
We will have to have them fight because we're on. This is our 11, 12, 34. What is this, number 7?
7, yep.
Okay.
So we have 3 more.
Yeah.
And then we have the end
No, this
of our
is number
second.
8. This is 18.
This is 18.
So we have 2 more.
Oh, that's true, because we did 1 through 10.
Yeah.
And this is now it's 11 through 20.
Right.
That's
yeah.
right.
So
Yes.
we'll see what these last 2 films do. Which
Silly.
I can't remember which 2 it is, but we'll discuss that when we say.
We'll
what we're
know
doing
about
next
that
week.
shortly.
If for those of you listening, obviously we love when you guys comment on the Facebook page. You can go to facebook.com/TopShelfPod and find the thread for this episode. And, let us know what you think. Or just comment on the page in general. And you can always engage us on Twitter at Random Bell for Jeff, at TC's Big Head for me. I did have someone tweet at me, and I forgot. I didn't write it down, but he tweeted again. It's someone who tweeted before.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. I'll mention you on Facebook. 101 Dalmatians ends with a Christmas tree and decorations being put up. So does that make it a Christmas movie?
It's a Christmas movie, isn't it?
Because Lady and the Tramp begins and ends on Christmas. I'm sorry, I can't remember who that was, but
It's just as much a Christmas movie as Die Hard is. So yes, we have a new Christmas movie to contribute to our list.
So that being said, I do have a little fun thing I did this week. I
Yes.
threw it up on the Facebook page for those of you who might have seen it, which quite a few because we had over 212 votes.
Which is awesome, by the
Yeah,
way.
so
I went on to
thank
look
you.
myself, and I was like, "Ooh, what is this?"
Thank you everyone for participating in this. Brackify is a bracket tournament style bracket website you can just create brackets for. FantasyMovieLeague.com uses it all the time for their subject matter like best action heroine or best scary movie, Christmas movie, so on and so forth. So I made a volume 1. Now you had to have 16 slots, so I just took our first 16 films in the Disney Animation Studios library. I put it out there. I randomized who would go head to head, which was great because I didn't want to have to decide who seated where.
Right. I'm loading it right now on my end. I want to look at this too.
And so we had the brackets. Now, if I don't want to draw this out too much, so I could just say who the winner is, but I just want to say who the original brackets were, which you have right in front of you, so you can say.
Oh, you want to say who the original brackets
Well,
were?
like the original. Well, no, who was going head to head? I guess
yeah.
it's like we had Fantasia versus Make Mine Music.
Saludos Amigos versus Dumbo.
Peter Pan versus Alice in Wonderland.
Three Caballeros versus Pinocchio.
Bambi versus Cinderella.
Sorry, I missed one.
That's-
Snow White versus Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, Lady and the Tramp versus Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
And then Melody Time versus Fun and Fancy Free. Well, that's a 2 comparison.
Some of those matchings, it was apt.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I might have put Bambi against Dumbo just to be the 2 animal movies. But
Yeah.
that's the fun of the randomness there. But I was pleasantly surprised by the final results here. So with 212 votes, the final results, the movie you listeners picked in our first 16 films as your favorite film, surprisingly, is Fantasia.
It's Fantasia. Yeah, that was not what I would have
I
expected
was
at
not
all.
expecting that at all, but
It's crazy because it came down to Fantasia. Well, the 4 came down to is Fantasia versus Peter Pan, and Lady the Tramp versus Snow White, and then it was Snow White versus Fantasia.
Yeah.
like okay, it just you listen to the movies that we like. Obviously, we have different opinions. I'm very upset Cinderella got knocked out like the first round, apparently by a lot of people.
it was funny to me because I checked it about halfway through the week, and Pinocchio was leading, which made me happy because that's our number 1 for the first 10 movies.
That's true.
So I was like, all right, we're not wrong here. But Pinocchio ended up coming in 5th. Lady and the Tramp is 4th. Peter Pan is 3rd. Snow White was 2nd with 20 some unfiled votes, and Fantasia won.
So crazy. This is a really cool idea, and I think we need to do this again.
Yeah. So when Volume 2 rolls around, so we'll hit movie 32.
Yep.
Whatever that might be. I'll do another bracket system, and we'll have have another one of these in the future. So check out the Facebook page. You can see this. The voting is now closed. So thank you for those who participated. That's really fun to know that we had that many people.
212 people were voting on that one. That's awesome, guys. Thank you very much for doing that.
So volume 2 will be sometime in the future. So thank you for that.
Well, so real quick, and oh crap, I closed my notes.
No.
I closed my notes, guys. Oh, no.
What do we do?
Oh, no.
Do we just talk?
The end of everything. I was just going to get up the next week's movie.
Yes, what is next?
If there was anything else that you had to talk about.
No.
Was there anything? Nothing? Okay. So, sorry. My list went away. This is so unprofessional. This is the first time this has happened.
Well, I suppose if there is anyone who's listened to this point and this was your first episode, thank you for listening. You can always go to the Facebook page like I mentioned, and as I said before, you can tweet at me at TC's Big Head. I'm also on Instagram. You can get on Instagram and Twitter at Jeff at Random Bell.
Yep.
You can also hit up the ghosthead.net if you want to see some of the other content that Jeff has created. You can also link to some of my stuff through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mm-hmm. And we thank everyone for engaging with us and participating in this podcast because it's better. It's validating to know people are listening, right?
It's so good, especially right like when we started after like the first couple episodes. I'm like, oh great, people do legitimately want to hear us talking about this stuff because we would have kept going. Mm-hmm, it doesn't matter, but it's nice to have.
I told you, Jeff, if you do a Google search for Disney Animation Studios Library, we're the fourth image that comes of the fourth hit that comes up on Google, which you said that might mean making us the official Disney podcast, and I said or getting a cease and desist, we can frame.
We can frame because you know what? If I got a cease and desist from Disney, that sucker goes right on the wall.
Right up on the wall.
I will put that right under my FBI warning and right next to my Disney animation. I don't have an FBI warning. Not me. So next week. So this week we watched Sword in the Stone, and next week we're skipping about 4 years in advance.
Our 19th film.
Our 19th film, which is it's so crazy that we've done 18 of these already, which wow, where's time going? Where's the last 6 months going, TC?
I don't know. We were younger men back then.
We were younger men. We were also many miles apart. Now we're closer.
Now I'm sitting in your lap.
I know, it's weird. The entire episode, I've been big spooning you.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that.
Not at all.
There you go.
You're surprised that you could hear me over your shoulder.
That's true.
So next week's movie is the 1967 The Jungle Book.
Here we go. So this is Ben Toe, my fellow co-host from my other podcast, The Rewatchman. This is his favorite.
And this will be the first time I will have completed The Jungle Book.
Yes, that's right. You've never finished it.
I've never finished the story. I think we've brought that up on the podcast.
I know you brought up at least off mic.
Yes. So if one way or another, I will retell the story next week with my personal connection to the Jungle Book.
Right. So this is the animated Jungle Book, not the
most recent Jon Favreau 95% CG.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken voiced movie.
So for those of you who might have a copy of Jungle Book, or if you can find it streaming, please give it a watch, and you will see the post for it next week. We'd love to hear some of your thoughts on that. But I think that's it.
That's it.
I think once again, and we're under what we normally. It's because we don't have the delay.
It's because see right here, this is where it proves the delay adds 10 minutes to our episodes while we're trying to wait for the other one to start or stop talking.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. So now we're going to record the next 12 episodes
right now.
Before
I leave,
we're just going to start watching movies and recording them all and post date them all into the future. No, that's a lie. Next week you'll be back home.
Yep.
And we'll be back to our normal delayed self. So
I don't think anyone notices.
Nobody will notice.
Except when there's those odd pauses for no reason.
We do that now when you're in the same room, though.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll be back again next week. Jeff, why don't you sign us off?
Yay! You threw me under the bus. I had no idea what to do.
Oh, man. Just right under it. Just ran right over.
I am roadkill now. You dragged me for 19 and a half blocks. It was horrible.
Yeah. That got dark at the end.
It's
Disney.
That got dark at the end.
Yeah.
That should be the sign off. This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.